I'll
never,
sit on the sidewalk.
ever, ever, you know that.
You have all the other good old man flavors, you just don't have rum raisin.
I have to
no
draw
one
the
would buy
line
it.
somewhere. There will be, that's the thing.
The thing is, she has to be able to sell the ice cream.
Thank you.
I'll buy it all. Just get me my own
Okay.
5-gallon jug.
I'll
and
get you a
I'll pre-buy it. You
3-gallon.
can keep it for me.
Fair,
and I'll
everyone
just
heard that.
take 2 scoops at a
I heard
time.
it too, yeah.
Yep.
You got a place to store it?
It's not allowed in my freezer.
All right, well, it is 5 o'clock. Let's call the meeting to order.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the April 27th regular meeting minutes.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I will abstain.
As will I.
You guys were missed that meeting.
Yes.
I watched it later.
Thank you all for covering. All right. The Select Board will meet on the following dates at 5 p.m. Tuesday, May 26th. Note that it's Tuesday because of Memorial Day. Monday, June 8th, and Monday, June 22nd. Town offices will be closed on May 25th in observance of Memorial Day. Any citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify Town Hall before noon, the Thursday before the scheduled meeting, and all meetings are held here in Town Hall and are also available on Zoom, and the Zoom information can be found on the town's website, plymouthnh.gov. 2 other small announcements. We have the auction coming up for 40 Reservoir Road at 11 a.m. on May 16th. Is that correct?
Saturday.
Yep, May 16th. So at 11 a.m., and that's here at Town Hall that occurs?
To bid, you have to be here.
Earlier. Yeah, you have to be here at 10 if you're intending to bid. And then the other thing happening on May 16th is the time capsule opening, and that is at 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple other big events happening in town.
I'm sorry, could you just go over in your packages there? There's information right there. That front thing.
This one?
Yes. Can you just go over that real quick?
Yeah, so let's talk about Memorial Day for a moment. So I mentioned that town office will be closed, but we'll have our Memorial Day observance. So there'll be a procession that the lineup begins at 10 a.m. at the Plymouth Armory, and then around 10:30 that parade or procession will begin down Main Street with a short ceremony to follow on the steps of Town Hall. Anybody, everybody is welcome. We love a good turnout for those things. Please come and honor those who've lost their lives while defending the country. With that, I'll hand it over for town manager, co-town manager interim reports.
So when you were not here last week, Zach, Ted, and the board talked about every other meeting, either I would do something or Kevin would do something, or if we need to do something together, we will. So Kevin was lucky enough to do last week, so here I am. So just a couple of announcements. On Wednesday, the 13th, the town clerk will be closing at 3:30. On Thursday, the 14th, the town clerk will be closing at 11. Opening at 11. Sorry, on the 14th, she'll be opening at 11. And on the 22nd, she'll be closing at 2. Keep that in mind. We've already gone through the time capsule. The health insurance open enrollment has begun, and packages have gone out to the employees. We also started our Zoom meetings today for the employees to learn more about their health insurance. Annual reviews are underway for the employees. Department head reviews will be conducted in the fall pending the hiring of a new town manager. Okay. We're working with legal counsel and realtor for the current property being purchased for the town. Just to let you know that we do have purchase and sales that have gone back and forth between the owners and ourselves. and our legal counsel. During the first round of resumes reviews of town's next town manager, the board conducted one Zoom interview, and this is just for the public, and that is from the 10 applicants who applied. Following that, the board decided to put the ad out again, looking for more applications or additional applications by May 31st is the deadline for that. And as of today, Zach, I have 3.
That's
So
correct.
the board will be looking at those soon as well. In the assessing, I just wanted to point out that we did get the April 26 sales deeds, and they are still showing, I say still, property is selling 21% higher than what the town has it assessed.
Wow.
21% out of everything that has sold.
On that, that's the average sale
That's
price
average.
compared to
Average.
assessed values.
Yep. So I wanted you to keep that in mind and that's how we set our tax rate. You know, people are concerned saying that's not fair, but that is the only way right now in the state of New Hampshire that they do use those values. The town welfare director had 23 patrons that that reached out to her and she assisted with in April of 26. The Memorial Day Parade, Zach talked about that. Just a reminder, the PEMI Youth Center is interested in taking over the after-school program hours for families, continuing to provide and offer programs and activities similar to the rec programs.
Is that still in conversation? Oh, I see your second bit.
It is, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I just read that.
It's okay. They are able to provide very similar programs to what the town provides. So if they are able to take over that transition, we may be able to offer additional programs that right now hinder us because the after-school program is really a priority. So
It was discussed at the PES
the
meeting.
meeting, okay, good. Which I have that as the next paragraph. The treasurer, we are going to be talking about the town's investment policy tonight. It's just an update. We talked about the tax acquired property for 40 Reservoir Road. And just a reminder to the board that on May 26th, you'll be seeing the tax collector. She'll be bringing in any properties that are up for tax deed, in which the board will have to decide whether or not they take them. And there is few criterias that says that you can deny them. The cemeteries have opened for the season. The staff is very busy at getting the properties ready for the upcoming Memorial Day weekend. Anyone who has inquiries regarding the town-owned cemeteries can reach out to the sexton, Jim Kahn, and he is at the recycling center. Okay. Let's see. Just a reminder, the recycling center hours are Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 8 to 3:45. Sundays, their hours are 7 to 3:30. The facility is closed on Wednesdays and Thursdays and holidays. It's important that the town taxpayers and residents to acquire your dump stickers, that's what we call them, or town stickers, because they will be checking them often now.
And I do have, sorry, one question about the recycling center. I'm wondering if we're gonna be putting barrels out again this year on Main Street. I've been asked a couple times.
On Main Street, no.
Yeah, so the town common, sorry.
On the common during
Okay.
special events, I believe that they put barrels out.
Okay,
I'm presuming that they're going to do that again, but those aren't regular items that are out
okay.
that
I thought
I'm
we
aware of.
did that.
No, I
stopped
thought we
doing
took
that
them
completely.
away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We usually put them out for like,
Special events.
yeah, if we've got some event going on the common.
Usually
or something.
Wednesdays, the
Concerts or.
That's it.
concerts and
Okay.
things like that, but
Right. Trying to remember that, thank you.
PBTV update, last week PBTV had a new server installed and the station is fully back up and running. They've also filmed new episodes of Check It Out, the Peace Public Library monthly update, and the long-running Memories of Plymouth. The station is collaborating with students at the high school to create a new and ongoing content for the station. They've also been looking at trying to figure out how we can get the station to be held at the school with their beautiful, beautiful area there they have. The library is running many different programs. Anyone interested in those can actually go onto the library's website. You'll find out more information on there. And as always, the employees, the public, and the board who are looking to reach Town Hall can call us at 603-536-1731. They can reach us through emails and the website. The best way for anyone to keep informed is to go to the town's website, plymouthnh.gov. Attend the meetings either in person or via Zoom, and at any time through PBTV YouTube stream. I believe that was it for the moment.
All right, any questions for Ann? All right, seeing none, let's move into some purchase orders. First up, we've got a highway purchase order for the Emerson Street improvements.
Yeah, so the improvements, we got 6 bids, and Brennan Hiltz was the lowest at $693.24.
We've used them before for things like this, right?
What's that?
Have we used them before for contracts
I
like this?
haven't, no.
Okay.
I think maybe back in the day, I think there was some, we might have used them.
Okay.
Do you recall, Phil, you know? I know Mike McNally has worked with them in the past.
Looks like they came in significantly below the other bids. Any concerns about the bid, or does it look good to you?
It looks good to me. I'll be there watching it, so, every day.
Perfect.
Keep in mind, this is right where we budgeted, right?
Correct.
So, we don't, unfortunately, even if we want to go with someone higher for the quality of work that we based off, there's no money budgeted for that.
It's good that we got a bid at this price point.
Yeah, we were lucky.
Yeah.
It is a bit concerning, though.
In terms of costs.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously don't know anything about redoing a road. And sometimes you pay for what, get what you pay for. So as long as, obviously, you're comfortable with their ability and quality.
I mean,
But obviously, I know budget,
Yeah.
I get that. We just don't want to be
and
throwing.
the quality will be there. Like I said, I'll be inspecting every day.
Okay.
For 8 hours a day, I'll be standing right there all day.
That sounds awesome.
What
Yeah,
is
it
the,
does.
what is the
It is good.
location of Brandon versus Grenice? For moving equipment in and out? I mean, that's an expense.
Yeah, it looks like one of the biggest savings is the mobilization.
Yep.
It's location issues.
They are local now, right? Aren't they?
Hiltz is, Brandon Hiltz
Ashland.
is local,
Yep. Off
where
the beach.
Grenice is not, equipment-wise.
How do we
Good.
set the budget for this? Like, do we need to reassess our budgeting ideas for this if we're getting bids this high?
Not for this year, we've
Not
got,
for, right, for next year,
Yeah,
we might
for
have to
the next
consider it,
budget
yeah,
cycle.
as we
For
start
the
that.
reason I mentioned that was for the next budget coming up is that, and this is reality of what we're dealing with. And this, that was not anything against Brandon Hiltz's abilities.
No. I'm just,
I wanted that number thrown to make us aware that the numbers, truthfully, I'm surprised Brandon was able to come in this low judging by the other numbers that are on here.
yeah.
Right.
So,
No, that question wasn't a comment on anybody, just,
Yeah.
So
we need to
we-
think about this for the future.
definitely something we're gonna keep our thoughts on for moving forward is that we're gonna have to adjust, and I don't even know how to pre-plan that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With these numbers, I mean, we thought we actually, when they budgeted, we thought we'd be on the higher side, and we're actually on the low side, so.
But, you know, our budgeting was pre-oil price.
Exactly.
Yeah.
rise and
Yep.
other factors.
I think we're fortunate Brandon's close enough that he doesn't have a huge labor cost to move and all that.
Yep. Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the Emerson Street improvements to the sum total of $693,024 to Brandon Hills Construction.
I'll second that.
Any discussion or any other questions for Kevin or Steve? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's good. When do we think we're going to kick off?
Don't know yet. I'm thinking probably end of July, I'm guessing, but no dates have been confirmed yet.
And any idea roughly how long that construction is?
I'd say probably 2 months.
Okay, but it'll get done this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a one year construction or one season construction. It's not something that's gonna,
We might not do a final pave, like let everything let settle down for the first year.
okay, may end up coming back with a top coat or something.
Exactly, yep.
Yep, makes sense. All right, I think we're good on that one then.
One street down.
One done. Yeah, one will be done. Okay, on to Jesse Jennings. We have a purchase order for a transit van from New Car Ford.
So, in March, we raised and appropriated, and it was passed at town meeting for Jesse to get a new vehicle for facilities maintenance. Going at all the quotes, they're all coming in pretty similar. This one, we're fortunate enough that we were able to work with New Car to actually order it to save us money. To get what we needed was actually a little bit higher. But because apparently it's cheaper to order a vehicle. So that's what we were able to work with them. We're still $500 over. We'll just take that out of the budget somewhere after July 1. But we have to, in order to order, we have to have this signed purchase order. And that the big point is that it comes with the contractor package, the bulkhead divider, and this one will come also with a 400-watt inverter. If we were to go with Irwin or New Car of Lebanon, in order to they actually have some on the lot, but none of them have what we needed. So this one we can actually order with, have everything we want within budget for the most part, minus $500.
And New Car's first price that came in at 64, they were able to drop that down to 55, 516, fully outfitted for what we need.
And this will allow him to keep all his equipment in there instead of carrying up and down the stairs from his office and
And locked.
moving it around, so.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the new 2026 Ford 250 all-wheel drive transit van with bulkhead divider and contractor package with the inverter for $55,516 from New Car Ford.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Since we're ordering it, any idea when we take delivery?
I believe Jesse said something to me about it. I think it was in the winter.
Okay, so still
Still the wait.
6 months kind of wait, yeah. Not as bad as a fire truck.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Painfully true.
Making sure you're here.
Oh. Okay, let's move on to Bill Bolton with the community bus program representing Transport Central.
I guess that's what Ann was trying to get my attention for.
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Excellent. I had like about 15 minutes here for you, but, I'm coming from this morning, a delegation meeting over at the county offices, and we ended up fixing the fees, or we looked at both the raises and what we're going to be doing with the elected officials. I know this is not PERLAC, but we ended up voting on it, and we accepted a 3.3% raise in the elected positions for a raise, and the union representing the employees of the community, of the county farm, was the county itself. They are going with 3.03. So might want to keep that in mind. But there was much discussion, and we ended up finally voting on it, and that's going to be wrapped up in the budget when we hear that later on. So regarding PERLAC, we have 3 people on the committee, myself, Neil, and Lisa Donor. So if I fail to provide a report, please feel free to check with them too. And there are several things that we are actually looking at right now. There is, for Plymouth, there's the fire and police proposed property that will have to be reviewed by PERLAC. And also next to it, or nearby, is the National Guard property. And they had to apply for a permit from DES. They did that, and DES approved of it. So they kind of got the go-ahead to start construction. Their permit is going to expire May 1st of 2031. So that's a pretty big pad for them to complete the construction. We also have, first of all, you may want to pick a person to receive the PERLAC minutes and announcements. Scott was the designated person, but if you let me know who might receive that.
I have been getting them, Bill.
Oh, I have? Okay.
I have, yep. Do you, unless someone else wants them?
If you're already receiving them, I think that's great.
Does it come in for Scott or what?
No, it comes into town hall.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so there are a couple other projects that we're looking at currently. It's the Owl's Nest golf course down in Ashland, and pretty much all the property that they are developing is in the floodplain. But they're going forward with development that will affect the condo area, and also they're going to be like putting in a casino. So I guess you're probably aware of that, but I haven't heard that the vote actually went in yet, but it's likely that they'll probably have a casino. So
Is that the vineyard location, the old
yeah,
White Mountain Country Club?
yep.
Thank you.
And Ashland needs revenue. Well, we do as well, but they're bound to get a lot of revenue out of that. So this permit that came from DES, I was hoping that they would also copy you as well. I don't believe you got it, but the copy is actually Plymouth Planning Board, J. Hammond Rowan at plymouth-nh.org. So you may want to change the recipient on the DES things. Want me to give you give someone the?
Yeah, if you could give it to Ann, that would be great. We can follow up with them and get maybe Joseph or something added to it. Be good for us to get too, but
It'd be nice if there was a nondescript planning board.
yeah,
email
like
that-
a planning at
Good, yeah.
plymouth.nh.gov,
Yeah.
general
Might
email.
have one.
Oh, okay,
I'd have to look.
that would be good.
Another thing we're looking at, which is kind of interesting, is Lincoln. They're putting in a gondola from the condos along, well, west side of the river to go across the ski area. And there's some questions about the advisability and the effect of putting a tower in the middle of the river. There's the judgment is out as far as whether they're going to put towers on both sides of the river with a big swag, or they're going to put a tower in the middle of the river because there's a little island there. And it's likely that that's where they're going to go, and that will cause some issues with the water movement. And so we are preparing a letter to pin that down. And Lincoln Planning Board has been working very diligently with the developer, so we'll see where that goes. All right, so I got, one more minute? So, regarding LRPC, you want that as well? Actually, you can probably hit Neil up too.
And your Transport Central as well.
Oh, crap. Okay, let me, how about if we'll go right into Transport Central. We got the approval.
You can have more than, you're good.
Take your time, Bill.
Take your time, Bill.
Okay,
Good
so
information here.
regarding Transport Central, though, we did get the go-ahead to, start up a route around Plymouth. And we were given 1 week to raise $93,000 so that we could go ahead for the first year. That was kind of unrealistic, and I did raise $55,000. And then I didn't hear back from Tri-County Cap, who was our agent in providing us with oversight, and also they're going to be hiring a driver and providing a 16-passenger vehicle for the town of Plymouth. And we currently have a 10-passenger vehicle, a bus, and that will join the larger bus to go around the route. The route's pretty much been described through the efforts of Tri-County Cap, and it will go downtown, out actually Fairgrounds Road, stop at some residences along the way, and then ultimately hit to Boulder Point, not just Walmart, but the Midstate and Spear, and all the businesses up there. Actually, they'd be considered one stop, and we're allowed 6 stops. So basically, we're doing like a big loop, getting people hopefully to work. Unfortunately, it's going to start at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is pushing it as far as like getting late to get to your job. So it's going to be 8 till 6, and it's going to be 6 days a week. So we're also running it on Saturday. And the startup date, there is no date. It's approximately July, maybe August, and we're setting up for a Zoom call with Tri-County Cap to kind of nail down some of the details that are still kind of like flapping around. So, theoretically that will start up. We are hopefully changing our location. Currently we're at Whole Village. Whole Village was concerned about having a couple more vehicles there. So I started looking around to see if we could join actually the senior center. Kind of makes sense. We have similar, kind of clientele. They don't have the room for us. So I ended up approaching PSU, and I intend to go to the facilities building across the river. And I've been in conversations with Kelly, the supervisor, as well as her boss, Rich. And I think they were waiting for graduation in order to get back to me, so pretty soon they have no excuse. But we'll kind of nail that down. That will probably be where we're going to be going from. And we also apparently use Irving gas, so it's like a stone's throw away from Irving gas station. So, all right. So that's happening theoretically in July, August. As far as LRPC, a couple of things, one of which is the annual meeting is coming up on June, I think, 24th. It's going to be in Meredith at Church Landing. The cost is $75.
If you're going to go, let us know. We'll pay for it.
You're funding me? Is that what you're saying? Or and there's several things that we've been talking about, one of which is elections are coming up too. And we've got the chair is stepping down, the vice chair is stepping up, the secretary is going to become the vice chair, and that left room for the secretary. And apparently John Chris is going to fit that bill. So
That's great.
yeah, it is great. Any questions?
So have the details for the bus, parking fees, all those things, but, folks take the bus, where will they park to?
So there's going to be a downtown stop. I'm still, these are to be discussed with Tri-County Cap.
Right.
There was also a question about like whether the the stop up on Highland Street will be usable. And it's a rare event where you see a couple of, university buses at that place. So the transportation coordinator down at DOT, that was one of his questions and his concerns. Do I have the ability to say that, yes, we'll use that as a bus stop? Well, actually, I had a call into Steve, and technically it's town road. We plow it, we take care of it. And just for that bump out, we maintain. So I just communicated, yep. And if there's an issue, we'll coordinate it with PSU. And that's another issue that I was trying to talk with Rich about, that both email and phone. And anyway, he wanted a quick answer. I gave him one. So, and the other areas they're going to stop in, basically like Hannaford, that whole area. They can just travel around, drop people off, pick people up. And for, Market Basket, I was going to say Market Basket. So, again, all those businesses will be hit. Just like, in fact, there's a lot of buses that actually go, school buses drop off, kids and pick kids up. And there's a couple of senior center buses, not Plymouth, that drop people off and pick people up. So, we'll be able to accommodate everything, but, maybe, actually, I think we'll pretty much make it all. And, if those housing areas, again, they have stops too, so.
So what, you said there's going to be 6 stops?
Yep.
Roughly where are those 6 stops?
I should have brought the map. So, it'll be Boulder Point. There's one up at the top.
Yep.
There's Walmart. And this is one stop.
Okay.
So that's, the one stop is that whole Boulder Point
That
area.
Boulder Point area, yeah.
Yep. And then downtown, again, to be determined exactly where downtown.
And is that the Highland Street location that you're talking about, or are you
I think that's
thinking
as we
in front-
leave.
like in front of Town Hall or something?
Perhaps in front of Town Hall.
'Cause we know Concord Trailways or
Trailway
whatever
stops
picks
there
up and
already,
drops
right?
off
That's
there.
true. Or maybe along the business side as well.
Okay, so downtown.
Yep. And then,
Hatch Plaza, Market Basket.
yep,
Yeah.
that's the third. Actually, the hospital is going to be one as well.
Oh, good.
And then it'll be, there's 2 subsidized housing areas out on, fairgrounds.
So the remaining 2 are Fairgrounds Road.
And is this going to be a loop where the bus just kind of does the loop throughout the day, or will there be certain times?
Again, that's to be nailed down, but my
Tri-County?
intent, or,
Yeah,
my, kind of dream is to have it just kind of going around.
okay.
And
That's great.
it will be scheduled, though, for the fact that this also going to be allow for diversions, if we were to get a call from somebody that wanted to be picked up, but, they're handicapped, couldn't leave their house, whatever, the house is a quarter mile away,
Yeah.
so pick them up. But we're going to be allowing 5 or 10 minutes at each stop to basically accommodate making little side trips.
That's great.
Yeah, it'll be
So-
great.
Is there a reason why we're only allowed 6 stops?
I think that's because of, well, this was a call from Tri-County Cap, and they pretty much deal with a driver, a bus, 6 stops. And, I think to exceed that is fraught with problems. So they came up with the 6-stop deal.
Will you still be doing out-of-town transports like you do now?
Yeah. So there's 2, I was kind of concerned about that, Transport Central, nonprofit, only volunteers, they use their own vehicles. And Tri-County Cap also does, nonprofit, use your own vehicles, and also bus service. And so they convinced me that I wouldn't have to have an ancillary, LLC or something. So, it's just going to be Transport Central. But, yeah,
Great.
Yeah, absolutely, great.
I believe that Plymouth Rotary is considering a sizable donation to Transport Central as well.
They did. Actually, in my
Did you get a commitment
1
from them?
week, yeah, my 1 week, kind of like, oh crap, I got to raise 93,000. So yeah, they coughed up, quickly. It was also Habitat. They also, donated quite a bit of money.
Good.
So
Excellent.
yeah, and also Transport Central. It's a lovely nonprofit, but I know when you get around to looking at nonprofits, you'll be looking at bank accounts, so we're just like draining our bank account. Anyway,
Any other questions for Bill?
Yeah, nice.
thanks a lot.
Thanks for all the updates.
Yeah,
We
that's
appreciate
great.
it.
All right, see ya.
Lots of good work. Our next item is Lisa Lindari, who has sent us an email about a request for a 4-foot by 3-foot display installed on the back of the town hall bulletin board. New information about the cannon.
Hoping to get it in time for the time capsule next Saturday. That's expedited.
Yeah.
It's quite expedited.
She was supposed to be here for this presentation, so I really did not prepare too much for it. I just have the email and the posting that came in with it. So
They basically want this.
she wants to put that for a better understanding and to be more concise, I believe, on the canon.
I would support that.
Yeah, I don't have any objection.
If there's room on the sign.
There's nothing on the back of the sign
Right.
currently.
I think that
Absolutely.
if this is the donation by the Historical Society, I think it only adds to information about why it's there. I think we should
Support it.
support it and thank them for their contribution.
I'll let her know.
Need a motion?
Do you want to make one
Sure.
or take one? Yep.
I move that we accept the donation of a sign by the Plymouth Historical Society to be placed on the back of the town hall sign, describing the whatabouts on our Plymouth's Revolutionary War cannon.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we've got Carl Knowlton running for Hampshire Electric
Thank you.
Commission Board of Directors.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my name is Carl Knowlton. I'm running for the board for the New Hampshire Electric Cooperative. And thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself and talk a little bit about why I'm running. This year, there are 3 vacancies on the board. 2 incumbents are running and 4 people are new, and I'm one of the new folks. There's 2 ways you can get considered for the board membership. One is you go out and raise and collect signatures. The other is you go through a selection process and you sit with the NHEC selection committee. That's the way that I was selected. I sat with about 14 people and had a pretty robust conversation about my credentials and what the cooperative needed and was looking for, and they're recommending me for in my candidacy for the board. I'm not sure how involved you are with the board, but if you are, you'll know that there are really kind of 2 major things going on with NHEC right now. They have a 10-year grid modernization program that is very capital intensive. They're essentially going through and upgrading their distribution network. The second is they're doing a rollout of broadband. Both of those are very capital intensive, and that's kind of where I see my expertise is I have a 30-year career in finance where I have managed and financed all different types of generation assets, from solar to wind, to coal and gas. I've also done distribution and transmission networks. So I have a lot of understanding in terms of how the capital markets look at these kind of capital-intensive programs. I'm a long-term resident here, and I think that my background in the capital markets will really be helpful in terms of providing value to the board. Part of the reason I'm here is I came to appreciate that one of the concerns that NHEC has is transparency. And I wanted to see if there's any feedback that this board might have in terms of your relationship with NHEC, if there are any concerns you're having, if you feel like you're being well informed about their programs and activities, or if it's really kind of a black box. I'm just kind of curious if you have any feedback that I can take with me as I advance my candidacy for the board.
My impression is that generally we've had a pretty good relationship with NHEC. They came in recently.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think
Chelsea.
this year, right? Chelsea came in to introduce
key
herself
account
to
rep.
us, and
They helped us a lot with the solar array.
they were very helpful when we installed the solar array 2 years ago. Out near the Plymouth airport, and that was a slightly complicated ask from us because it was two-phase power instead of three-phase power, so it was a little bit more complicated. But they were very supportive of us on that project, and so yeah, I would say, is it a black box? Maybe a little bit, but only because we're not super engaged with what's happening there, but not necessarily due to their disinterest or anything like that. They've engaged with us really well. I know we also supported the broadband rollout when that happened. Is that going to be 4 or 5 years ago at this point? In the town of Plymouth, anyway. When that came, I think it was great. We had a lot of citizens come in and speak to their appreciation of being able to get broadband in some of the rural areas of town. You know, we had pretty good cable coverage in kind of the more urban area of our town, but areas like out by Loon Lake and some of these more remote areas, we're very excited to be able to get broadband at the time. So that was, from our perspective, a good partnership. You know, we'd had citizens come in and say, how can you convince the cable companies to come out here? And we said, actually, if you're patient, I think the electric company is going to cover you. And then they were very pleased when that all came together. So anyway, that's my experience with NHEC. I don't know.
Yeah, from my perspective, I don't think there's a lot of need for interaction between the co-op board of directors and towns. I mean, we're customers, which is nice, and the co-op is located in town. It's nice to have that employee base as a driver for our local economy. There are a lot of people that come into town and buy lunch in town. There's a lot of traffic on Tenny Mountain Highway that's in and out of that facility all day. But other than that, I think I don't see a lot of need for specific interaction between the board and.
The one area we may run into some need in the coming 10 years, unfortunately, that's the sort of length of time we often talk about, is around the intersection of Smith Bridge Road.
True.
And the alignment of that intersection with the entrance into the
district office.
The district office, right? Yeah.
Not the offices, but the line trucks use that eastern parking, or eastern entrance, which is almost opposite.
Yeah,
Road.
We as a town have been pushing the state, because that's state road, to do something about that intersection. We feel pretty strongly that it's one of the most, if not the most dangerous intersection in town, in particular people turning left coming out of Smith Bridge Road. So we've been pushing to get that on the plan. I know that one of the complicating factors about doing something in that intersection is the pseudo alignment of that road. And so I'm sure that's something that will, if we can actually get moving on those plans, will be something that we are back to talking with NHEC about how we can resolve that situation, but nothing actionable at the moment. And not that we've had any hesitation from them on any of that, I just don't think we've talked to them much about it.
I handed out what they call the candidate brief. You'll get that in the mail as a member. The ballots are going out in the next couple of days, and they're due by I think the 10th of June. Any questions that you might have of me in terms of background or why I'm running or anything that I can answer your questions on?
Where are you based?
I'm a resident of New Hampton.
Okay.
Nice. I appreciate your time to come speak to us, and I wish you luck in the election.
Well, thank you. And of course, I welcome your support, and the town of Plymouth, I'd welcome its support. The only thing that I would like to just talk a little bit about, you raised it, it's the role of the broadband, and that's really kind of my fundamental issue in terms of why I'm running. Right now, what the co-op does is it's combined both businesses. So what's effectively happening is that the electric business is subsidizing the broadband business. And of course, the broadband business is, in some areas, it's quite a competitive business because you've got Spectrum and Fidium that's competing with the cooperative. And my concern is that I think we need to separate those into two different businesses and have very clear financials, and then have a very clear policy in terms of how the electric business subsidizes the broadband business. Because right now it both need a lot of capital. That what I worry about is the broadband business could really impact adversely the electric business. So that's kind of what got my interest and why I'm running for the board. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, next up, we have an RFP invitation related to architectural and engineering services for a public safety complex.
So I brought this forward tonight just some guidance from the board, and also to make you aware of what we're putting out. I know that Maggie had come in. That's the gist of it. I think a lot of this, majority of this was done with the guidance of Scott. Through his research, he kind of formulated this. We adjusted it where needed. So if the board has any guidance on where, what they think for dates, because obviously it's got to come before you, before we go to town meeting. So I don't know if you guys have an area that you'd like to see it. I know Phil's seen a lot more of this through planning.
No, not that much, honestly. I haven't seen this specifically, so it's. I'm happy to. I was happy to have an opportunity to review it before the meeting, and it looks pretty straightforward. Yeah, I would think that the timelines are generous enough to allow qualified firms to provide us with the information by August 14th.
Kevin, do you have a feel for when, I mean, I know that they're kind of blank on this sheet, when we're going to try to review those proposals as a...
Well, if we have them by August 14th, I'm thinking it's probably going to be in a meeting for the whole board to be able to review it. So that next meeting, I don't know what the date is.
Are we planning to have the building committee pre-review those, or
That's what I wanted.
bring a recommendation to the board?
That's what I want guidance from you on as well, is would you like the committee to review and bring the recommendation forward after they reviewed it?
I think that makes the most sense.
I think that's more efficient.
Or at least the top two, if you could.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, if there's an obvious, clear, this is the one, they could come with a recommendation, but it feels like,
Members of the board are on it, so, on the committee, yeah.
yes, Jason and myself are on that committee, but it feels like, I mean, this meeting's often very compressed for time, and I think our ability to go a little deeper into those RFQs and talk them out in that committee will be easier.
I trust the committee to do that work.
Okay.
And the meeting following that is the 24th of August.
I would say if we're gonna have the committee, like, let's
Probably look
put into September.
Right.
yeah, that
Great.
first meeting in
So
September.
first
maybe.
meeting in September.
Which is going to be,
So we'll open and review prior to that as a
the 14th of September.
as a building committee, and then we'll bring it to the select board that first week in September.
So we'd organize a meeting that following week for the committee.
For the
to
committee,
review.
yeah. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
So 9/14, the board will have a chance to review it? Is that what I'm hearing, or is that
Yeah,
the first one?
if we could get the building committee to bring a recommendation on September 14th.
And then it says expected to be chosen by two more weeks out, or
I would think that that would be the meeting where we would kind of make that
same thing?
that choice, where
Okay.
we would review as a building committee prior, make that recommendation to the board, and have that
Well-
decision.
So it says a short list of candidates will be invited for an interview during the week of.
Oh, okay, so we are going to do an interview, yeah, good point.
Are we gonna interview candidates, or?
I would think we should, absolutely.
I think
At
you're
least
right.
by the committee.
So what's the second meeting date in September?
Is that going to be the 28th?
Yeah.
28th?
Shortlist candidates will be invited to interview during the week of, and a firm will be expected to be chosen by.
Yeah, so either that first week of September or last week of August, try to get those interviews done.
Yeah,
Matches what the Energy Commission is expecting?
I think
Matches what the Energy Commission is expecting?
it's clear enough. Yeah. It provides guidance without too much commitment, but yeah.
All right.
Maggie has contacted NHEC already to sit down and meet, so she's already begun that outreach.
Good.
If you're good with that, we'll fill it in and start sending it out probably by the end of this week.
Looks good to me.
Looks good to me.
Looks like you have consensus.
Roger that.
All right, we have next up the review and acceptance of a check for $1,723.90 as a final settlement payment from the U.S. Postal Service for an incident that occurred January 9th, 2026.
So we had a postal service vehicle that backed into our code enforcement vehicle, turning around. So it took a while, but Finishing Touches was able to go ahead and do the work for $1723.90. And in order to put that back in and expend it immediately from the budget, we're asking the board to accept and expend, allow us to accept and expend those funds in that exact amount.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the funds in the amount of $1,723.90 from the U.S. Postal Service, and then expend those to cover the cost of the repair.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Was that a parked vehicle? Was nobody in it?
Nobody was in it, it was parked, it was just a tight squeeze, I think.
Tight squeeze. Okay, we have
So we have
Town of Plymouth investment policy in front of us.
So this investment policy is something that it's required for the board to review every year. And the last time that we reviewed it was on April 28th of 2025. It has been reviewed again and signed off by the town treasurer. No changes have taken place in this investment policy since last year.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the Town of Plymouth investment policy.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good straightforward one. All right, review and sign a buried cable petition from NHEC for crossing and placing a new cable under and along Morse Road.
So the petitions that come in do require that the select board approve them. And these are just to allow the towns to know where the area is for these poll licenses and petitions. And this one in particular is a buried cable, so there's no new poles.
This one's for you too. Thank you.
And this, again, is along Morse Road.
Now, is this one going to require any digging of pavement?
Not a paved road, right?
Morse Road
Road
is a
is
Morse
paved
Road
road.
is paved.
Well, sections of it are.
The house, I
All the-
don't know.
All of Morse Road is paved.
it all of it now?
Morse?
Yeah, that's right, we finished it.
I'm,
We'd have to contact
I
them.
ref-
Neighborhood.
that's literally, yeah, my
Your
yard
road.
faces it, so.
We'd have to contact Whitney Pierce and ask her if they're going to interrupt the
Sorry, I
paving
was thinking Bell Road.
They
area.
usually drill under the road.
They usually do, but I want to ask that question because every time you cut a road,
Oh, we cause all kinds of problems.
Oh,
those
yeah.
those of you who'd have to drive Reservoir Road, it's like giddy up.
Yep,
Would you like me to call him?
I'm
from
aware.
You can put this on hold for a few minutes. We'll have an answer to that question.
Okay.
That's the only question you have?
That's the
Our
only
only
question I have.
question, yeah. I do think that's a good question, though.
Yeah. Where are the? House number
It does say across.
While we're on the topic, a few years ago, I did work in the city of Concord, and they have a very specific street opening policy that requires that any cuts in pavement be diagonal to direction of traffic so that plows don't catch them. They also have specific policies about when you cut the top coat, it has to be set back a certain distance from the base coat, which has to be set back a certain distance from the hole, so you don't have aligning seams. I'm wondering if the town should actually investigate revising our own street opening policy to
And you said what
ensure that contractors.
city was
City
that?
of Concord. So that, to see if, any street opening permit requires, puts in place.
I do like that.
I do too. I mean, I think it provides, and anytime you see a manhole with a square cut, if there's any subsidence, you end up with a crack that's perpendicular to the direction of travel, or it's not perpendicular to, but it's aligned with the plow blade as it goes by, and it allows for a lot more damage. Whereas if you have, a diamond shape in the road, and if there's an elevation difference, it's much less likely to impact the wear surface over time. And then setting back, again, not having your seams align means that if the fill subsides a little bit, it doesn't make a crack in the base coat because that's set back a little, and then the top coat is set back a little. It would put a little bit more cost into repairing roads, but, that's borne by,
We know how expensive
person-
it is for us to fix the roads.
we do.
Yeah.
I think it's something we should look at and maybe have Steve look into and advise us if there's a policy we could adopt.
He's talking about street opening policies.
Mm.
In the city of Concord, they had specific items that we could look at to see if we have anything like that.
Yeah, we should definitely check that. I talked to Whitney. She said they're planning on digging it because there's concerns of other utilities on the road. Is there a water line through there? I didn't think Morse Road had hard water.
No, it shouldn't be.
Or septic.
But all the utilities are buried in that neighborhood. Like
Yeah.
if there's cable.
So there's
it's probably-
concern of that, but if you have the stipulation that they're only allowed to bore, they will. They're just nervous about other utilities in the road.
And if they're gonna dig the road, I would certainly want to do what Phil is suggesting.
If it's not a current policy. So they're just going between two poles. They're gonna do a crossing and then run parallel to the surface.
2 boxes, but yeah.
Yeah, everything is buried there. You have that.
On your map, are they colored? Are your
Yes,
maps- okay.
mine are, yes.
Do you want Steve to reach out and have a conversation with Whitney, just to relay these concerns before the board signs them?
Yeah, I think that's the right answer.
Do we have a street opening cutting policy?
We
I was
probably
trying to
have
look, I
something.
think we do have something, because when they had to open the street to repair my sewer line, it was a whole thing. So I feel like
There is something.
there is something, and I wasn't able to quickly put my finger on it here.
So I'll have
We do
Steve,
have a policy that if you're cutting into the asphalt anywhere on the street, like just say you're doing one lane, you have to go side to side, both lanes.
curb to curb, there you
Yeah, where's that policy?
I know we have it because it's a bone of contention right now.
Ah,
go. Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you where to find it. I imagine the highway has it.
All right, so we'll check with them, and then I'll have Steve reach out to Whitney and have a conversation as far as what their plan is, so that he is aware of it, and have him put something in so the board can talk about it at the next meeting. All right?
okay, that is it for new and old business. On to Ann's bloated signature file review.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, it's tax season, right?
Is it?
Yes. I have the warrant for the first issue 2026 tax bill that is going to the tax collector, $9,733,601.50. And if you're interested in looking at any specific property and what their assessment is and what their taxes are, it's a much smaller, because we got a new tax program. You're welcome to work through that. I do need the board to sign that, please.
Seems like in the past that's been
It's been, yeah.
very thick.
This is just the summary, so we weren't able to do that in the past. Neil MacGyver is here, so I'm going to start with the abatements first. Neil is the first abatement request that has come in. This is for the 19 Loon Lake Road. Neil indicated that the lot is unbuildable. The lot has easements by Eversource, completely impacting entire price. And after the assessor reviewed it, he agrees with Neil. The assessment is going from $113,500 to $81,300, which would offer an abatement with interest of $1,945. We have a new member of the Whitney Consulting Assessing Team. I don't know if you want to ask Neil any questions while he's here, or I don't know. Usually we,
I would say generally as a board, if the assessor tells us we should do a thing, then we trust the assessor. But if anybody on the board has a question or an objection, then now would be the time to raise that.
Why we have an assessor?
I am not an expert on this stuff, so.
Happy to trust our expert.
Curious if our assessor is evaluating. So my understanding is that land values have always been based on potential development, unless they're in current use. You know, if you look at a parcel of land and you look at its suitability for development, you would assess the value of a parcel based on zoning and potential future development. With our rezoning of much of the town, I'm wondering if the assessor has.
I can ask the assessors to come in and have a meeting with the board, and you can ask those questions, or you could stop in.
Yeah, maybe.
Send me an email with your
Yeah.
questions, and I will get them answered for you at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. The next item is 22 Highland Terrace. This one is also approved. This one's in Whipplewell. Says my mobile home was 1972 in bad condition, no bank would finance in 1972 for $35,000. I cannot pay what the taxes have gone up to. I live in a trailer park with old mobile homes in it. I don't think I could get $10,000 for it. The assessor looked at the property. It was valued at $35,000. They're reducing that down to $20,700. Abating with interest $342. Sorry. The next one is for 506 Daniel Webster Highway here in Plymouth. The valuation for the view is not consistent with talking to the assessor, other properties in the area. The only reason there is a view is that the adjustment lot was cleared. If the adjacent lot is allowed to revert to trees, there would be no view or less for one. The assessor reviewed that. The assessment's going from $247,700 to $180,006, difference of $67,100, or an abatement with interest of $1,615.
So the assessor agreed with their,
And we have a new member of the assessing team that's coming in from Whitney, and you'll see that the abatements are written a little bit different. Now there's much more information, and you can actually see pictures on there that will help you as well.
So does that mean, only for my clarification, if they actually sell the property, is that view now new and part of the new owner's?
Yes, yes, that value is what the assessor believes it should be assessed at the end of 2025 for the 2025 tax year.
Okay.
So if they go and cut down and they have a better view, 2026 year, it might be worth a little more.
Okay.
But you're looking at, this is only a 1 year value that you're looking at.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next property that we're looking at is 129 New Hebron Road. House was built in 2009, not in 2025. Building footprint is 28 by 32. Town has wrong dimensions listed. Living space is just under 900. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. Floors are plywood except for kitchens and baths. Spoke to the assessor and, sorry, she adjusted the value. No insulation, no sheetrock, no running water, siding not complete. The assessor has viewed the property. It's going from $397,300 down to $219,200, difference of $178,000, and an abatement of $4,286.
what was the reasoning on that one?
The barn. It is
It's a
complete.
barn with a home?
It's the whole property,
Yeah.
yeah.
Even the home, this is a barn with a home, and they've reduced the value to 219.
It's like a major reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next item that I have, these are all denials. So this is 21 Highland Street. This home is in a noisy, congested area that has a great deal of traffic. There's no garage, the land is uneven and eroding. There are no parking spaces for more than 1 car. The neighborhood is almost exclusively college buildings or college student housing. Possibly selling my home has led to it being undervalued by potential buyers. this is being denied. There are a few reasons for assessments being appealed. What is the property value worth? The property equalization assessments. Reason for appeal, the taxpayer has applied for the property tax abatement because the land portion of the assessment increased substantially as a result of the last statistical update. After reviewing other properties along Highland Street, the owner is wondering if their land has been coded incorrectly. The subject property is a single-family home located on the corner of Highland and Russell. First Supreme Court appeal of Patrick Walsh and Supreme Court appeal of the town of Sunapee. The burden of the taxpayer is to prove that the aggregate of his assessment, both land and building, is disproportionate. When reviewing the land type, it was not proven in this property, therefore the assessors are recommending a denial. 75 Main Street is the next property, another denial. And up until the current assessment, land values of the Main Street used to be assessed based on size. I think the problem is a new program. The town has gone by assessing the land values. It's logical that in a single-family zone neighborhood, the lot size does not have an oversized impact on the lot. These are significant information. My brother and I have owned the income properties in Plymouth for over 30 years. We understand that the taxes and values have increased over time. We have never before had a serious disagreement on the assessed value, but this reassessment, after only 2 years, saw our assessment value on the rental properties increase by a whopping 32% overall. According to the assessor's comments, per Supreme Court appeal of Patrick Walsh of Supreme Court appeal of the town of Sunapee, the burden of the taxpayer is to prove that the aggregate on his assessment, both land and building, is disproportionate, and this person did not. Oops, so that's a denial. All right, so that was 25, all right, so that was 75 Main Street. The next one, same property owner, 135 Main Street. Again, same reason. Per Supreme Court, the assessor, the property owner has to prove, and with the information that was presented, it was not proved that this value is overassessed. 25 South Main Street, same property owner. A denial, it was not proven that the property was not appropriately assessed in this abatement application. 12 Binks Hill Road in Plymouth, 142 Reservoir in Plymouth, and east side of Pike Hill Road in Plymouth. Constitutional grounds. Everything is, the attachment states that the property is disproportionate physical data, market data, and level of assessment is inappropriate. The assessor has denied all three. The tax burden has not been proven that it was not disproportionately valued. 69 Reservoir Road. The claim was disproportionate to other properties located within 0.2 of a mile from their property. The assessment values of the other properties were 88.6, 88.7, and 88.6 again. The assessors, after reviewing the taxpayer's submitted documentation and comparing his land assessment with his immediate neighbors, it appears to consistently and equitably be assessed. 548 Daniel Webster Highway. Constitutional grounds. What's the purpose for this? I seek abatement of the educational portion of my 2025 property tax bill. Statewide education property tax sweeps on the grounds that this education portion of the property tax levied against the undersigned is unconstitutional. Legal grounds, no part of a man's property shall be taken from him or applied to the public use. And the assessor's recommendations is, since the taxpayer presented no evidence of market value, inequitable value distribution, and does not claim poverty or inability to pay, it is recommended that the abatement be denied. 307 Main Street. Value is too high. Current market value of my property is $114. I can't even figure out what this says. Very small cottages, value less than $50,000, 13 cottages and 10 rooms. Subject property is a commercial property comprised of motel units with several small detached cottages. No supporting documentation was submitted with this abatement request. As a result, the taxpayer failed to provide, to prove their assessment was an error or disproportionate. The next one is 153 Highland Street. Value per Zillow and discussion with Realtor on likely sale price was the reason for the abatement request. Zillow is not recognized as a reliable data source for determining market value by the New Hampshire Board of Tax Land Appeals. The taxpayer failed to prove their burden by not supplying any supporting documentation, and request denied. The next one is for property located at 683 Tenny Mountain Highway. This is Walmart property, and the only reason why I mentioned that is because they're scheduled to be heard at the BTLA for the 2024 property taxes on July 1st of 26. So they already have an appeal out there currently.
For the previous years.
For the previous years, yes. The only backup that I have here to share with you is the assessment exceeds property fair value. No supporting documentation was submitted on their 2025 abatement application. The taxpayer carries that burden of proof. See attached settlement agreement, Walmart Real Estate Business Trust docket, which states the negotiated assessment of 17.5 will remain for tax years 2024 through 2028. It's recommended that it not be reduced any further. The next one is Tamron Properties LLC. Properties at 58 Main Street. And the reason I mention that is that there is a BTLA case. They're scheduled right now to go to the BTLA on December 2nd of 2026. Please note that the information we've supplied in support of the abatement request is illustrated of the fact that the property assessment is not based on the property's fair market value. Excessive and disproportionate. The taxpayer reserves the right to present additional information in support of the abatement request, including an appraisal, considering and analyzing all pertinent approaches to value. The taxpayer notes that the New Hampshire Supreme Court has held that the tax abatement system is not construed literally to advance remedial justice. The property owner also appealed the 2024 taxes, considered that the assessments of the subject property is currently in litigation. I recommend their abatement request be denied. I'm almost there, getting there. All right, so the next one is 2025 abatement. Inch Island Properties LLC. Need abatement as a lien was executed and he paid online prior to the lien being executed. So we are abating $22.06. Timber abatement. Resident did not submit the matrix form with the report of cut. After the assessors went and reevaluated that, they changed the matrix numbers. Original yield tax was $561.70. That was reduced down to $369.50. Difference of $192.20 is what we're abating. Next item is a solar tax credit. This is for property at 38 Merrill Street. They have submitted all the information and they qualify for the solar exemption. And I think the last item that I have here is an elderly exemption. This is for 10B Plaza Village Road. The assessor and the assistant to the assessing department have reviewed, and it is qualified for tax credit. And while that's still going around, the town-owned property auction that's coming up on Saturday, I will ask the board to give me authorization to sign the purchase and sales at the direction of our town attorney who's assisting us with this. I will be here on Saturday for this sale unless another member of the board wants to be here and be a signer.
I'm going to be out of town on Saturday.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to authorize Ann to sign the documents for the sale of the property at auction on Saturday.
Thank you.
A second.
Any discussion? I might actually be here on Saturday, but I'm still in support of it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
I have to attend a class on Saturday morning.
Be here, but I'll be bitter, so. Appropriate.
We do have a lengthy non-public, Zach, as well. Once you get through your,
The last one of those. All right, let's plow into committee reports. Jason, you're first up.
We meet, sewer and water meets tomorrow, so I'll have a report next meeting.
Tomorrow, planning board.
The planning board met on last Thursday, the 7th. We did have a presentation by students in the senior class students from Plymouth State. They had recommended to the planning board that in the next version of the town master plan that there be an inclusion of either a chapter or a section on invasive plants and management of invasive plants. They noted a significant list of plants that do affect town and could be managed more actively than they currently are, and recommended that the town establish some form of policy, whether it be for private landowners or town personnel that are active in managing publicly managed lands. But it was received well, and I think that the planning board was willing to consider that for inclusion in the next master plan. It was a very good presentation, a hardworking group of students. It was a working meeting. The other item that the planning board took up was revisions to the subdivision regulations, which have not really had a thorough update in about 20 years. There have been minor changes just to kind of keep the subdivisions in line with state guidance and things like that, but there have been a few shortcomings noticed. So, one of the things that the board discussed is having kind of a graduated fee scale and document submittal based on, a boundary line adjustment versus a minor subdivision versus a major subdivision versus a major subdivision with a road. So, there was great discussion there, and that's going to be a continuing work in progress for the next few working meetings. So that was all I have.
Sounds good. Any questions for Phil? On to Ted for the schools.
All right, first up is PES. They did have an enrollment update that they're kind of holding steady at 389. They talked about Earth Day and Teacher Appreciation Week starting, I think it was
Last week.
Last week, yes. There was a Sarah Thompson Award, an award for Sarah Thompson. Let's see. Next big issue is the end of year budget review. They have a projected fund balance of $680K. They have the first $50K of that goes to reserve per vote, so that leaves approximately $635K in the fund balance to go with afterwards. So one of the things that they had was a discussion of this new law that's on the books that would force any fund balances for the school that would continue, the unreserved fund balances be approved by the voters.
Interesting.
So they couldn't, even though they're authorized to, keep 5% of their budget today, if this law is approved at the state level, that would go away, and the voters would have to positively approve any retained fund balances.
So the voters already did that in general, but the law would make it have to happen every year.
Yeah, every year.
Interesting.
So even though we have one that allows them to keep a certain amount today,
Yep.
just kind of wipes that away.
Right.
If it's approved. We don't have any sense for whether it will or will not be at this point, but if I was a betting guy, it'll get approved. They did talk about some projects that they could use their remaining money, the 600 and change for. Most of them are very small, under $10,000. But there's a couple in here that are fairly significant. One was a set of camera updates that was almost $60,000, and a generator for $122,000. They did also talk about an unanticipated placement at the Pine Haven Boys Center that was going to cost $127K. And they did authorize an adjustment to the food services budget of, I think it was $20K. Right now, they always run a deficit, and so they have to fill it. They did vote to raise the price of the school lunch for regular folks who are not benefited from the feds by 10 cents, which is the minimum allowable that they can under federal law to get into compliance with, how much the feds pay versus how much the local, the feds don't want to subsidize, essentially. So you could either raise it the full amount to $4 and I think 30-something cents, or you could raise it by 10 cents every year. And if they ever do meet, then great. If not, then we're covered. They also did talk about the after-school program, which has traditionally been managed by the parks and the rec department, actually, in this case, moving to the Plymouth Youth Center. So there's really no change from a PES standpoint. They're obviously in favor of it. They're going to give, the necessary clearances for them to use the building from 3 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. This actually provides, I guess, additional coverage than what they're currently able to.
So PYC would do the after-school program on the school grounds?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They would just basically take over managing.
Yeah.
I think it's the K through 4 aspect of it.
Yeah, I think, as
think
you
after that-
stated, there's, it's longer as well. They'll be able to provide coverage longer throughout
Yeah.
the year,
Okay.
which is nice.
So it's a win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's a great resource for the people, children in school.
Moving on to the high school, we started out with a bit of a field trip down through the athletic training space down in the basement. Apparently, there's some major uplift they want to do to those facilities, washing machines, regrading the floor so the water runs in one direction, et cetera. Basically redoing the space completely. It's about $200,000 worth of expense. I will get to that when we cover budget in a moment. They did talk about some field trips from the student report, all successful. They went to Quiz Bowl in Chicago. The language group is supposed to go to France. I'm not really sure exactly when that is. They were having a prom meeting last week. And on the 14th through the 17th, there's some trip to Hershey Park. The principal's report, they talked about recognizing the custodial crew over break. They did a fantastic job. School looks like it's in great shape. They have a partnership with the senior center to do portraits for the students, doing portraits at the senior center for each senior. End of year budget review, similar thing with, that was voted at the elementary school, 10 cents increase for the lunches that passed. So projected fund balance, very close, somewhere north of 900K is available. They currently have 344K, I think, in the fund balance from last year, so they can add a maximum of 3K. So they will retain, obviously, the maximum allowable. They did have a summer work list handout that thankfully Lisa was able to give me. Most of them are, in the, the 12 to, we'll call it 20,000 range-ish, to cover, be spent from that unspent funds. But the one that was, fairly fiercely debated amongst some of the members of the board was the athletic training area remodel, coming in around $218,000. There was some folks there that felt this was really something that should appear on the regular budget. So there,
At that price point, yes, that seems logical.
and so that was most of the. I don't think there was anything after that really. The sum total of their summer projects with that included was $362,000 and change.
So that's really the vast majority of it.
Yeah, that one project was very much the majority. However, that did not get approved because there was a step that they had to have it approved by one of their other committees first, and it wasn't done, so it went back to that committee and will be brought back to the floor in the June meeting. And that concludes the high school and the elementary school. Plymouth Conservation Commission is next week on Tuesday the 19th at 7 p.m. right here.
All right.
Can I just ask, what
please.
is the Pine Haven Boys Center? What, I've never heard.
I think it's a place where people get sent for specific special needs.
Okay.
I don't know anything more specific
Okay.
than that, but anytime they have a placement and they might be required to send someone to something.
For addition, okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Ted about schools or conservation? Nothing from CIP. We heard from LRPC, Parks and Rec.
So we met back in January, March, April, so I'm not sure, just don't remember if we covered it. But briefly, a lot of the conversation was around Boys and Girls Club, PYC, and it was really just kind of a brainstorming at that point. So it's nice to have the final update. So I don't have to review that again. At the time, budget was on target, although at that time revenues were up a little bit. And then for upcoming events, and once again, it's maybe a little old. I'm not sure if the fishing derby has happened yet. There's lifeguard certification for the summer programs going on, and at the time they were working on the summer programs, and it looks like that's actually all been set and filled, which is great. They are very happy about the PYC taking over. They have a great working relationship as it is, so it will allow to continue and enhance. I think that's really the highlights.
Any questions for Marion? Energy Commission?
The Energy Commission will be meeting this Thursday at 6 p.m.
Okay, nothing for advisory budget. Chamber of Commerce.
They actually meet this coming Thursday. I will not be able to attend, but they meet this coming Thursday. So anybody wants to zoom in.
We already heard from Perlac. No updates from police and fire unless you have anything, Chief.
Nope. This was my update.
Already got it. Economic development.
We met Let's see, last week, a lot of it, as we've been going on for the past couple of months, was discussion and a lot of work from the economic development team on the Railroad Square charrette program. That, I don't have the exact dates, but the official meeting or weekend meeting is the end of this month. I think it's the weekend right before Memorial Day.
So, yeah.
That might be the day, 23rd-ish.
The 23rd.
Time frame, 3-day thing, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They'll be providing a little more detail. A lot of it's already out there, inviting public, inviting stakeholders, and even more stakeholders, mostly business owners, property owners down along there, kind of abutters, if you will, in this area. But even, the Rotary, Mike Currier, because it does include the skateboard park. But from the economic development, we've been working with Sue Cagle and trying to get more public input. So developed questionnaires. I visited the recycling center this weekend. I had a great experience with that. People very excited about the project. They think it's a great space to focus on. A lot of it had people really wanted to see green space, walking paths. One really cool idea was a Ferris wheel, which I think of Seattle. Oh, they have this Ferris wheel in the middle of, and it's awesome. And obviously we're very different than Seattle, but it was quite the. This gentleman had worked on the senior center and redeveloping, and he goes, I've always thought that would be a great space, in that area for a Ferris wheel. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Why not a redstone rocket?
Or it was kind of really
I know where we
cool
can get
out
one.
of the box thinking. Some had mentioned senior housing to some level. It's a great, there's a senior center, and obviously
Walkable.
downtown walkability, the hospital, obviously concerned about flood zones and the smell from water and sewer, but, those weren't our questions. It was really more pie in the sky questions. If you had $1 jillion, and so hopefully the engineers and architects and planners during that weekend will come up with some doable ideas, which then will probably get added to the master plan in some way, shape, or form. So.
I think the planning board has also been holding off on discussing proposed zoning changes to the village commercial district, waiting for some input on this area. And I think that there are a few lingering issues that could be updated on for zoning in the village commercial, but I think this piece of information was, or this event was is anticipated to shed some light on current perspectives around that area.
Makes sense. So that's all I have.
Any other questions for Marianne? Or Jason, I suppose. All right, public comments.
Mr. Chairman, please the board, I rise to address my concerns regarding the application I made for an abatement. I'm really confused by the numbers I heard. It seems that the assessment is grossly overstated on this piece of property, and I haven't really had a full opportunity to address the issues regarding this property.
Your abatement was approved.
And
so-
I'm Neil McIver.
Hi, Neil.
Neil.
Your abatement was approved in that list.
Well, I don't know what the numbers are.
Do you you want to pull those up? You want to pull them, Kevin?
Going to be the first
Yeah, it
one
should
on
be
the
like,
bottom.
I think, yeah, the very first one. Send it back this way. All right, so the assessed value, was 113,500. The revised value is 32,200. A difference of $81,300. And
What's the map and lot on that?
and the abatement on that was $1,945 of tax.
Can you tell me how they arrived at that $32,000? The year before, it was $24,000.
So it's split into two parts. One acre valued at 25,900, and then 5 acres valued at 6,300.
Zach, if you look at the very first page of the abatement, that is the assessor's review of the entire, and I think it's broken out.
Yep. So the assessor says the subject property is an old railroad bed that was abandoned by the Boston and Maine Railroad years ago. It's comprised of approximately 6 acres of land that Mr. McIver says he acquired from his son.
Cousin.
Oh, cousin. It says cousin, and I said son. In 1960, Mr. Trow transferred a 100-foot wide power line easement to Public Service of New Hampshire to construct a power line that still exists on the property. Due to the encumbrances associated with the property, the land offers very little utility to the property owner. Recommendation is based on the aforementioned information. I recommend adjusting the assessment to reflect a value of backland, thereby reducing the assessment to the numbers that I suggested. And yeah, so I think it was an agreement that overall the lot is unbuildable and has a power line utility easement owned currently by Eversource.
So they changed it from a primary land to backland value, is that what they're saying?
Yes. And they did, it's split into two, effectively, they're valuing it in 2 different pieces. 1 acre of it valued higher than the other 5. So the 5 acres with very little value, $6,300, and then the 1 acre at $25,900.
The entire parcel is impacted by the state off-road snowmobile trail number 8. And my driveway, once there's snow on the ground, my driveway becomes their trail.
But that's not you're not obligated to allow them to use that snowmobile trail, are you? Unless there was a permanent easement granted?
Well, I don't use it. They don't have any grandfathered rights. But if I didn't let them use it, I'd probably be public enemy number 1.
Sure.
So I try to accommodate them. It's no advantage to me. But, the power line completely covers the entire parcel. And they don't cut apple trees on power lines. Everywhere you go, they leave the apple trees. But they did cut my sugar maples. And they cut trees on my property adjacent to the power line because they were taller than, tall enough to fall on their wires. And I just feel that, the fact that, there's one other thing. This property has been used as an access point for people who have invaded my property on a continual basis to gain access to drug houses on Loon Lake Road that are still operating. And this has been a real imposition on my family. And we've had SWAT teams out there making arrests. The police have arrested people on my property. The airport property provides a means of access to my property, which has been used by the state police would testify to that. They've caught people from using the airport property to get across my property to get into the back doors, I call it, of the drug houses, which is still an ongoing problem. So to me, that degrades my property, and it actually puts my family in fear.
Neil, I'm not sure what because the map's not clear. Is there something different about 1 acre of that land than the other?
That's what I don't understand.
I'm honestly not sure. Would you approach?
You want me to come up there?
Yeah, if you could for a second. I'm just trying to determine exactly on this very small map.
I wasn't aware that they'd broken it down now.
So we have this very small map. I'm not sure which piece are we talking about?
Well,
Is this 20628?
it goes to that point there, I believe, was Barney's land. It belongs to Francis now.
Is that it, Neil?
I believe
The highlighted one?
it doesn't go that far.
It's not that one?
It goes to that line.
So it's that long and narrow
Yeah.
piece?
Is it, what is, does
That
the,
one doesn't make
does the
sense.
tax cards
This map
give you a
does
map
not
and
make
lot?
sense.
206,
But the one you have does.
is it 20628?
Yeah, there's two parcels, this one and this one. One's 50 acres, the other one's 52 acres.
Yeah, well,
And then
let you,
it starts at Moon Lake Road and it goes 800 feet and it hits my land, this piece here.
that's you.
Yeah.
This is you.
So
Yeah,
there's an 800-foot section that comes from Moon Lake Road, and it's 66 feet wide. I don't know how that computes. I don't think.
I'm wondering if that's the acre.
800 by 66 feet. You need 43,560 for an acre.
800, would you say it was 800 by 66?
Yeah.
So it's basically this long.
Neil, is this area,
That's 52,000 square feet.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's over an
What
acre.
they're calling the acre.
Yeah.
is this in current use by chance, this area?
I'm gonna put it in current use.
You should.
You will,
Is
but it isn't yet.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Is it too small? What's the?
Not if he has contiguous area.
How much does it have to be?
Only thing
10
it's good
acres.
for is I can legally.
But it's only
protect
6.
myself.
All of
You know,
his
I can-
area.
I can protect myself.
Oh,
from
he can
people
Contiguous
include
lots.
two different lots.
Is there a reason you haven't posted it?
Well, I have,
Okay.
because I'm trying to stop, but basically people that are in that business don't look at signs.
So this entire lot is that long?
Is that long, narrow piece is what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
it
I believe
goes to
so.
the edge of the second piece. I got two big chunks.
Right, the other piece is that one that runs along the river? Or the
They're
brook,
all
I guess?
along Loon Brook.
So you're talking about, this is the other
That's
piece,
Loon Brook.
and this is
yeah.
Loon Brook.
Yeah,
So,
that's as far as it goes, right there.
so
right
you think it
there.
actually stops, I mean, the survey map has it continuing all the way to the town border.
Yeah, Francis is kind of taking over that section.
Technically, it's still yours, though.
Yeah, it's still yours.
Wow.
You
It is?
could do
According to the tax map.
You could negotiate a boundary line adjustment with any of the abutting property owners if you wanted to sell a portion of it to them.
You're saying that I own all the way down to the Rumney line?
That's what the tax map
According to the tax
shows.
map, anyway.
That's
I
why
don't
it
know
would
what the
be six-
deed
That's
says.
why it would be
Well,
6
that's something
acres.
I didn't figure on.
So I wonder if they're, I wonder if they're separating out sort of this chunk or something as being more valuable than the
Well,
rest or something.
actually, my great-grandfather did own everything, everything.
Mhm.
He owned the airport, he owned Longview Farm, he owned everything, all the way down to the ridge.
So maybe.
So originally, that might be the explanation.
Well, I mean, that's probably the evaluation that the assessor's using when they determine the property value, if nothing else. I mean, if you feel like that's not an accurate depiction of the property,
Well,
that's
I'm
a different
gonna
story.
Put it in current use, because I can't do much with it.
Right.
I've got a few apple trees out here, some blueberries.
No reason not
And
to.
some spike strips.
Well, they
You-
do
you-
use off-road vehicles, and they travel on foot
And you're,
all hours of the day.
and you're not.
And
you're
now,
not-
you know, just to corroborate what you said, when I did my ride along with Officer Diamond, he took me to that spot and said, "They bring drugs in on this road." And that this is not purely the account of Neil, but it was also what Officer Diamond said to me while we were.
I
that
think
area.
you could put up gates and lock them. I mean, as long as you allowed Eversource to access the right of
Oh, yeah,
way.
I've never had any trouble with those.
No, but I mean, I don't know why
I
you.
let them park their equipment on the front.
I don't, I mean, it's otherwise, it's private property. I mean, if you could, you know, property that's
is
open to
some-
snowmobile trails in the winter.
There is some if you're going to put it in current use, there's some restrictions around what you can post against.
True.
Well,
Is it enough to put in?
If you're getting the rec discount.
That 10 acres?
See, I like to
Because
let my neighbors
Ann said
go on
because
front.
it's
And you can still do,
adjacent to
you can
this
still,
lot
you can
that's
still
already
post
in
it and
current
still
use,
grant
you can just
authorization
add it
to
that.
individuals.
Yeah.
You
Which
could-
would make sense,
I think
put
you
it in
can,
current use.
even with the recreation allowance, I think you can still post against motorized vehicle use.
I don't have any.
Oh, can you?
I think so.
Yeah. Interesting.
You can still take the recreation, the higher, like, you don't have to take the recreation deduction with
I
current
never
use,
have.
but you could.
I-
And
I
I
let
think you can
people
still
bird hunt,
post against that.
Duck hunt. and I let some people deer hunt.
Yeah.
I only choose a few, because I don't wanna have too many people out there. And my son gets concerned about it. You know. The kids come out and play in the sandbox.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is that it came down significantly.
Okay, I'll go, I'm not gonna contest it.
Yeah, just in case you want to see those numbers, that's.
I'm not gonna contest it. But I did pay all my taxes.
I will tell you, that's the oddest lot I've ever seen.
It's a weird one.
So,
Yeah.
I was shocked.
I'm looking at the frequently asked questions section
Although, I
posted
will
by.
tell you, I get letters in the mail all the time, people wanna buy that 6-acre lot.
Sure, here you go. So if you go to nhspace.org, there's a frequently asked questions that deals with current use, and it says, there's a specific questions, does land under power lines qualify for current use? And it says land supporting power lines that are not for the sole benefit of the landowner shall be eligible for current use.
Yeah.
But it also says, you know, there's also the section about land that's contiguous with other acreage.
Well, I can just, I can put it with the other land.
You can.
Right.
Attached.
Yeah, because that other land's right there.
So I just gonna talk to Joe just how to do that.
Should be a fairly straightforward form for you.
Yeah.
So the recreation discount is an incentive for landowners to keep their land open to others for 6 low-impact land uses: skiing, snowshoeing, fishing, hunting, hiking, and nature observation, In exchange for agreeing to allow these 6 activities, the current use assessment is further reduced by 20%. No other recreational activities must be allowed, and the landowner may post against other uses. So you can still do that.
Cross-country skiers.
Yeah. But, so you can take the higher
Sugar Orchard,
deduction.
and I have all these roads out there,
Mhm.
and they like to cross-country ski. So,
Even if it's not in the recreation discount, land that's in current use is not necessarily open to the public. There's no requirement for current use landowners to allow public use of their land.
well, that's why I don't, because of my neighbor across the brook.
You can still grant individuals authority even if you deny access to the public.
It's been a long, hard pull. Well, I don't want to take up more of your night.
Thank you.
We appreciate your concern, though.
Okay, so I,
Thank
no,
you, Neil.
I'm not contesting anything. Okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Neil.
Thanks,
Good
Neil.
to see you, Neil.
Thank you very much.
And we don't have anybody online? Nope.
All right, I'll make a motion to go into non-public in accordance to RSA 91-A:3, number 2, letter A, personnel.
And legal, sorry. A and C, reputation, I guess.
Okay. A, C, and E.
E?
E.
E.
Okay.
Jeez.
Second.
Jason?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Zach? Aye. Ted?
Aye.
Marianne? Aye. All right.